harsh reality about life that I think can be hard to accept is that no one owes you anything. Like, absolutely nothing. And that sounds really harsh, but the sooner you can accept that fact, the sooner you find freedom in your own life. Because with that, you realize you don't owe anybody anything either. You're free to say no. You're free to create boundaries. You're free to move about life in the way you deem will make you happiest. However, other people are allowed that exact same freedom. And that's where a lot of us it gets tricky because we feel like we've been doing for them, we've poured so much into them that they owe us this, they owe us that. But that's just our ego. That's ego talking. Ego, ego, ego. And that's when we're doing things for love and not out of love. And that's a whole different conversation. But people are also allowed to move in the way that will make them happiest in life. So, they don't owe you a text back. They don't owe you an explanation. If they decide to cut you off, they didn't owe you that experience. People are allowed to choose different experiences in life, and they should be able to do that without us holding resentment and grudges and like hate, because we're all here for our first time. We don't know. And once you truly accept that mindset that, well, they literally didn't owe me anything anyway, this is their life, because this is your life too. This is your world in the same way that it's their world. Life is tricky, but the sooner you accept that, the sooner you find peace.
Hey Rych Babes, it's Bella Dior, and welcome back to A Rich Girl's Glow Up. Before we dive into today's topic, I want to give you a quick update. As you know, I use TikTok a lot to reference video clips and inspire these discussions. With rumors of TikTok potentially being banned tomorrow, things might change on this channel. TikTok's algorithm has been a huge help in finding content quickly, faster than Instagram or Facebook, but if it goes dark, I'll have to just adapt. I'll still be posting daily as usual, but it might take more time to find clips that tie into our topics. And then also, if CapCut is also oh my God. If CapCut is also banned because it is under the ByteDance with TikTok, Lord, I'm going to be in so much trouble, because I have literally learned the entire platform of editing on that app. Okay, so it's going to be a problem for me as a creator, just as much as all the other millions of creators that are affected by this TikTok potential ban. And this is going to be such a huge change. However, we will get through it. There will be changes to this platform as I am adapting. So again, please just be prepared for that. I want to thank you all so much for your continued support, and whatever happens, we'll just keep glowing and growing together. And yeah, and I've been seeing so many negative comments on TikTok and other areas where some folks who are not creators, they're like, oh, well, you guys need to go ahead and get a job like the rest of us. But you guys need to understand that this is our job. This is how we make our money, or how we build our dreams, or whatever the case may be. So this is huge, and especially since the job market is so scarce. Like, you can barely get a job that is worth what you're worth, So it's a lot that goes on with this ban, and so many millions of creators are affected. So many YouTubers are affected, from reaction channels to just discussion channels. So yeah, it's a lot to unpack for a lot of us. Therefore, like I said, I just ask that my audience, my community, just allow me to be able to have the time to adapt to the new changes. I do believe that if it does go dark, that it will only be temporary, because I do know that Donald Trump and the other guy that owns TikTok they have been in discussions. So if it does go dark, then I'm pretty sure, soon enough things will, get back together. But as of right now, the Supreme Court has already ruled to do whatever they're supposed to be doing. 9 people out of like 170 million people that said yes, 9 people declared a no. And, it boils into the question of, are we really free? Are we really free if 9 people out of the entire country had declared that, no, we're not going to do this? Like, wow. Are we really free? That really should be a topic. Are we really free? But okay, let's get right into this discussion. And yeah, I just wanted to have that talk with you. I just wanted to be able to allow you to understand the changes that's going to happen on this platform. I just didn't want to have this talk without, letting you know what's going on and how it does affect me too as a creator, and how it also affects all of your other creators that you watch or that you support as well. Because everybody is affected. Everybody, from the viewers, the audience, the community, to even the creators. So everybody's affected. So there you go. All right, let's get right into this topic. And yeah, all right, my loves. There's nothing that we can do. We just gonna have to have faith and just give it to God at this point.
One of the things that I realize is that nobody owes me anything. They don't owe me respect. They don't owe me loyalty. They don't owe me communication. I could want it. Hell, I could even deserve it. But that doesn't mean anybody's obligated to give it. But with that being said, although nobody owes me a damn thing, I owe myself everything. I owe myself that respect. I owe myself that loyalty. I owe myself the ability to walk away when things are not looking like they're being reciprocated. I owe myself that. I can decide when enough is enough. I can decide when I no longer want to accept someone else's shortcomings in my life, and I will. So although you don't owe me anything, I owe myself the opportunity to get the relationship that I desire, that friendship that I desire. I owe myself that. So I won't fall for anything that goes against what I owe myself.
Listen to me. Don't nobody owe you nothing. Peace is an inside job. And it is not something that people deliver to you because you're frustrated with your current state of life. You got to make your own peace. And you can't wait on an apology to have it. You'd be surprised how many people in here right now will stay frustrated for years until somebody gives them the words that they need. That means you don't love yourself. If you need me to make you happy, then you don't love yourself enough. Because I love me enough to pick my own self up off the ground to make sure that you know that you could not beat me down. Is there anybody in here that's going to be a peacemaker?
What you have to realize is that no one's obligated to do anything for you. No one's obligated to clap for you. No one's obligated to congratulate you. No one's obligated to tell you good job. It is nobody's job to tell you congratulations. It's nobody's job to tell you, hey, you're doing well. It is nobody's job to pat you on the back and kiss your tail every time you win. You know whose job it is? Yours. You know whose job it is to tell you congratulations? Yours. You know whose job it is to throw your own party when you win? Yours. At the end of the day, when you have your hand out, when you think somebody owes you something, when you're waiting for somebody to tell you good job, or hey, keep going, hey, you're looking good, hey, you're doing well, hey, you're thriving, you will be waiting forever, because at the end of the day, nobody owes you anything. You owe it all to yourself. You owe it to yourself to say good job. You owe it to yourself to pat yourself on the back. You owe it to yourself when you win, you congratulate yourself and you throw your own party. At the end of the day, nobody has an obligation to you. Nobody owes you nothing. Everyone has a choice. And if they choose to congratulate you, good. But it's damn sure your job to tell yourself good job, to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, keep going, to wake up every single morning and put your left foot in front of the right foot and say, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, you owe it all to yourself, and nobody owes you nothing.
The harsh truth is, no one really owes you anything. So the reality is, when no one owes you anything but you owe yourself everything, that's a tough pill to swallow, right? We often expect others to treat us the way that we treat them. We think if I love them, support them, or sacrifice for them, they'll do the same for me. But life doesn't always work that way. Why we expect reciprocity, and we really should, As human beings, it's natural to expect that if we give love, respect, and care, we'll be given it in return. And yes, in a perfect world, the people closest to us would show up for us as much as we show up for them. But the truth is, everyone operates from their own perspective, and sometimes people won't or can't give back what you have given to them.
Nobody owes you nothing. Stop thinking that you entitled to what somebody else have just because you around them. Your partners or your homegirl will come up and you think that because they done came up, you supposed to come up. No. That don't mean that you supposed to come up with them. That don't mean that they entitled to take care of you. It's 24 hours in a day. They got up and went to work. They got up and put their money to the side. They invested. They did whatever they needed to do to put themselves in position. You didn't. You want to sit back and just ride the wave. You think just because they're your partners or your family member or your friends or whoever they are, you think that you're entitled to the blessing that they got. No, that's not how it works. If they choose to bless you, that's something else. But nobody owes you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. It's too many people out here feeling sorry for themselves, making excuses. Grown-ass people complaining about what they don't have, how somebody didn't do for them. What did you do for yourself? What did you try to do for yourself? Nothing. Nothing at all. But you ain't gonna sit up there and tell everybody how you ain't doing shit for yourself. You want to point the finger and blame somebody else about what they not doing for you. Nigga, you grown. You grown, man. Sick of all you niggas out here complaining, hey man, ain't nobody putting me on, ain't nobody. Man, you a man. Be a man. You run around here talk about you a man and you be a man, nigga. Stand on it. Stop complaining about what somebody ain't doing for you. Men go get it on their own. Men go get it by themselves. A real man to go out and hunt. Stop acting like you something you not. Bunch of crybaby ass niggas, man. Looking for a handout. Weak ass men.
The world don't owe you nothing, right? If you're going to make somebody yourself, get up and make it happen, right? And so me watching her work a double shift and coming home, driving an old beat up Beard Regal, hubcaps off the car, seats torn up, and not making an excuse, it shaped my mentality and my perspective and my spirit and the way I live my life.
Your kids don't owe you for nothing, homie. Whatever you pour into your children, there's no return check on that. They don't owe you for that. If they don't grow up and do nothing for you, they don't owe you nothing. They didn't ask to come here. Your children are a result of your choices. So they don't owe you nothing. You owe it to them to make sure they are better than you.
Now, as a mother myself, I would hope and pray that my children would never betray me or turn their back on me just because they can. And after I've done so much for them, to love them and to, protect them, we just hope and pray that we get the same amount of love and respect in return. But let me share a story with you that I know of. There is a mother who had two sons. She was a great mother, raised them both with love and care, and gave them everything that she could. Now, in her 60s, she suffered a stroke. Naturally, you think both of her sons would step up and help, right? But unfortunately, no. Only the younger son actually sacrificed his entire life, his career, his freedom to aid her back to health. The older son, he went on about his day as if nothing had happened. Was it fair? Absolutely not. Did she deserve it? Not at all. But this is the reality that we actually live in. And the lesson, that mother's story teaches us something so crucial and critical. You can give your all to people, but there's no guarantee that they'll show up for you when you need them the most. That's why it's important right now to take care of yourself. your health, your happiness, your finances. Because at the end of the day, you owe you everything.
My grandmother used to always tell me, don't nobody in this world owe you nothing. Life don't owe you. People are not obligated to respect you, to be kind to you, to do favors for you, to speak to you. If someone is doing it, it's because they're choosing to. The world don't revolve around you. Your problems ain't the only problems going on in the world. Reach out, pause, and help those who are further behind in you. You ain't too busy for that. You ain't Oprah.
Life doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe you perfect or even good parents. Life doesn't owe you health, happiness, abundance, success, comfort, or immunity from pain and problems. It doesn't owe you a job, a house, a car, a bed, or a single meal. No one owes you kindness, love, recognition, empathy, apologies, or understanding. You aren't entitled to a single thing. Your family owes you nothing. Your government owes you nothing. No one owes you anything at all. Ouch. It stings, right? In all truth lies a treasure. The gift in acknowledging and accepting that life owes you nothing is that you realize that everything you have is a blessing. Life owes you nothing. Yet look at all you have been given.
No person is a victim to life, but a person living in the result of their frequent thoughts. Life isn't after you like you think it is. Yes, there's going to be challenges and hardships, but life isn't out to get you. It's just not. It's after what you're thinking about the most. So if you're constantly thinking about ways that you're going to fail, guess what's going to happen? If you're constantly thinking about how broke you are and how the system is set up for you to fail, guess what you're going to do? You're going to fail. Stop thinking that you're this victim who is owed something, who you deserve something that you have not worked for, who you think that you need this red carpet laid out for you to walk into any room and situation you want. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. And you have to have optimistic thoughts in every situation. This is the message every oppressed victim fears. That they hope they don't have to go through.
The biggest lesson I've learned in life is that nobody owes you nothing. You literally, you owe nobody nothing the same way they don't owe you nothing. So stop expecting people to shop for you when they don't really need to. Just because you show up for them doesn't mean they're going to reciprocate that energy. Just do what feels right to you. Just do stuff and keep it moving. It doesn't change the price of bread. I promise you, it doesn't.
Your child owes you nothing. Parents don't like when I say that.
Your child owes you nothing?
No human being owes you anything. When we say someone else owes us something, that is being said with authority, entitlement, ownership, possession. And we own or possess nobody, least of all our children. We only, if at all, barely own our own self right here, right now, in this little moment. So this sounds disempowering, I know, but it's actually hugely liberating. When you realize, who the hell am I trying to control? When I get that deeply, life becomes beautiful.
I am sick and tired of this, and I got to speak on it. Well, speak on it, Prime. I'm glad you said so. Why you got an attitude like life owes you? Kids, you got an attitude like your parents owe you. Relationship, you got an attitude like that person who left you owes you. Life don't owe you nothing. You live it. You breathe it. You consuming air, you consuming space, and you in time. And you ain't paid for none of that. If truth be told, you owe life. You owe life. You got air, you breathing, space, time, everything. and you ain't gave back nothing. And I'm gonna tell you about life. Life don't accept checks, credit cards, cash, or sex. Now how you gonna pay for life? God gave you life, and you ain't giving God nothing. Think about that. True.
No one owes you loyalty. No one owes you love. No one owes you trust. No one owes you anything. Once you get to this freeing experience, you will stop expecting people to have the same heart as you. You're all raised differently. Some people have compassion, some people have empathy, and others don't. They will do what's best for them at the end of the day. They operate from a dog-eat-dog world. That's the way you should operate from. You should put yourself first instead of putting other people on a pedestal. Instead of saying, well, I want to do that to you. Well, you did it to yourself. You have hurt yourself. You have lied to yourself. You wasn't real with yourself. So stop expecting people to be real with you when they are really lying to themselves. Stop expecting so much out of flawed human beings. They are imperfect for a reason. Are you going to have grace? Or are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to be about it and put yourself first instead of expecting people to have the same heart as you? Can you still operate from a place of love even if they don't show the same capacity of love towards you?
Hey, listen, what you have to understand is that nobody owes you anything at all. It's a choice. The world, friends, family, loved ones, they don't owe you anything. But the only person that owes yourself something is yourself. You owe yourself everything.
You owe it to yourself to get yourself the better that you deserve. You know, there is a better version of yourself that's waiting for you to step into it on the other side of you letting go of this version of you. You know, a version of you full of better opportunities, better people, and more peace. But you know, in order to become that person, you have to be willing to let go of your current self. You know, the version of you that constantly tries to stay in control of everything out of their control. The version of you that still has toxic people around. The version of you that doesn't take a chance on themselves and is constantly living in fear. You know, there's a better version of you that's waiting for you to step into it. And that is real.
I was on my way home just now, and Mama's voice popped up in my head. And the voice said something that she used to say all the time. Don't nobody owe you a damn thing. Nobody in the world owes you nothing. All you owe to yourself. I'm like, owe to yourself? You gotta get out here and put the work in. You gotta get out here and create the reality that you want for yourself. What mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, grandpa, grandma did in the past ain't got a damn thing to do with you now. Especially if it's been 10, 15, 20 years since. You need to heal and move on and start creating the reality for yourself, okay? Because the more you live in the past of what they did or didn't do, the more the universe gonna give you that. So now you're drinking every day and you're smoking and you're doing whatever your vices, the vices you use to cope with it. One thing I noticed when I stopped doing that and started writing the life I wanted for myself, my reality changed. I didn't forget a lot of stuff that happened in the past because I've created a new reality for myself. Getting up, being thankful for what I already have. In turn, what happens, the universe gives me more to be thankful for. I'm telling you. We have to undo that and just let it go, because ain't nothing. Mama used to tell me all the time, get out the past. You're living in the past. You can't live there. Actually, you can't even go back there if you really think about it. You can go into the future, though. I said what I said. Think about it and get busy living your best life, because ain't nothing you can do about what happened then. Ain't nothing you can do about what mama, daddy, sister, brother, Uncle Woo-Woo, and none of them did. Rewrite the script you want for yourself and get busy living. Trust the process and never give up.
UOU is not a book. UOU is my journey. For waking up and saying, you gotta stop saying your mama got pregnant at 17 years old. It's getting old. You gotta stop saying your daddy wasn't in your life. It's getting old. It's getting stale. It stank. It was cute when you was 12. But it ain't cute at 22. It ain't cute at 32 when you got a wife and 2 children. It's getting old. It's getting old, Eric. You need to take personal responsibility. UOU is about taking personal responsibility for your life. It's about no more excuses. It's about no more trials and tribulations not happening, but getting in your way. It's about doing whatever it takes. It's about getting up as early as you need to, going to bed as late. It's about spending all your resources. I'm telling y'all, UOU. Your son, UOU. Yeah, you put him through college. Yeah, you went to every football game. UOU now, though. UOU to retire. UOU to travel the world. You blessed him. You went to every parent-teacher conference, every game. You did everything you could for your child. Now you owe yourself to go see the world. You owe yourself to write that book. You owe yourself to become a millionaire. You owe yourself to be a fashion designer. Whatever it is, this book is just telling you, UOU, but here's where you got to start. You got to do it for you because ain't nobody else going to do it for you.
We control what we tolerate. You don't have to tolerate some shit just because that's your woman or y'all in a relationship or that's your wife or whatever. She's disrespecting you or she neglecting you. And that goes for anybody, not just relationships, family members, friends, kids, whatever. You control what it is that you tolerate. And a lot of times, like, we be feeling like we can't control that. We be feeling like we got to deal with it just because this is our woman, or we got to deal with it just because this is our mama, or just because this is our homeboy, even though they disrespecting us in a relationship one-sided as hell. We got to deal with it. We don't. We don't. Remove them people from your life. Anybody that's not adding to you is taken away from you. There is no in-between. It's only productivity or it's dead weight.
This is your daily reminder that don't nobody owe you shit in this life. And if you want something, you better get up off your ass and go work for it. Have a great rest of your day.
You owe you everything. Why you must prioritize yourself. We often place our happiness, healing, and success in the hands of others. We think our partners, kids, or friends will fill in the voids in our lives. But the truth is, no one else can do the work for you. It's not your husband's job to make you happy. It's not your boyfriend's job to heal your wounds. And it's not even your kid's job to take care of you when you get older. It's up to you to make sure that your life is fulfilling, joyful, and secure. In a spiritual perspective, even God, who gave you life, doesn't expect anything back from you other than to live that life to the fullest. What are you doing with that time, the talents, and the opportunities that He has given you? Are you waiting for someone else to validate you or to save you? Or are you taking ownership of your journey? And how do you start owning yourself? Everything. Number one is you need to prioritize your self-care. Taking care of your health, your mental well-being, and your spiritual growth. You owe it to yourself to be the best version of you. Setting boundaries. Stop overextending yourself for people who wouldn't even do the same for you. They just wouldn't, and you know it. Like, you deep down inside, you just know they wouldn't even do it for you. Learn to say no and stop tolerating situations that drain you. And number 3 is build a life that you love. Invest into your goals, your dreams, your happiness, whether it's a new career, a finance journey, a fitness journey, or just creating peace in your home, making yourself a priority. If you are ready to take control of your life and start prioritizing yourself, check out my ebook bundle, Becoming Her. It is filled with tools and exercises to help you build your confidence, shift your mindset, and create the life that you've always wanted. Head over to Rich Milan.co and grab your copy today, girl. The link is in the description box and is also tagged in this video. So, my rich babes, no one owes you your happiness, your healing, or your success, but you owe it to yourself to take control of your your life and make it extraordinary. So start today. Stop waiting, stop expecting, and start just doing. Until next time, Rich Babes, stay rich. Love you.